Definitely. So what are, so if you were to look at this like in 10 years, where like, because, you talk about, so you got, the Marvels and the DCs that are these massive, huge companies. You're talking about how it's hard for them to pivot because they're so huge. So say 10 years down the road, you're even bigger than you are now. How do you want to how are you going to try to maintain that ability to pivot as you grow?
Yeah, fantastic question, because like I'm going to be the sole owner forever as far as I'm concerned. If it gets to a point to where, I end up having children or something and they get involved, like whatever. But at the end of the day, the book's going to stop with me, health willing, Lord willing. And I want to maintain that attitude of a small business. So it doesn't mean that I don't want to take on opportunities. It doesn't mean that we don't want to grow. We for sure want to do that. But you can have that small business mindset and keeping things lean as possible. And that's the benefit that you get to have by not being mega corporate and by having that sole owner and by not having all these middle folk that are involved in it, investors. And I'm not knocking anybody that goes that route, but we don't have to deal with any of that. So even as much as we've grown like now, we have all these other titles. Now we have Rippaverse, right? And now Rippaverse dealing, we're teaming up with Angel Studios right now with Gabriel and the Guardians.
That's so awesome. So cool.
Yeah. And it's like, who would have thought, right? So it's already got to a point to where things are just crazy. But it's still lean. It's still a slim team that is handling work. Yes, we grow when we need to, especially in that warehouse, right? I got to have workers in there. We gotta make sure that we're putting books out as fast as we can. And yeah, it takes a lot of work, and we love it. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay if it means keeping it in the house and keeping my hands on it. So in 10 years from now, I want to grow all those aspects of the company. So you have the main line Rippaverse. I want to grow Rippaverse. I want to grow Rippaverse Studios. I want to by then hopefully have some more fleshed out, longer form animated stuff. Maybe dipping our toes into some more live action stuff. I want to grow. I want to scale up, but not so much that it means like, we can't pivot anymore, or selling off the company or something like that, or selling off a percentage of the company, which often you see with guys in my position. They get in, they start getting those investors and other people because they want that. And look, I understand why that's attractive, right? Definitely when you have that initial success, you got all eyes on you, and bam, you're going high, and people are like, I want in on it, right? And it's like, oh, you're gonna get this opportunity, and wow, you give off 50% of your company, but this is going to manifest itself into X, Y, and Z. And I understand why that stuff is attractive, but I'd rather have the slower, not necessarily slow, but slower and controlled growth than trying to just get there for the sake of getting there, because it is important to maintain our ethics that we have as a business, and growing and scaling up, and making sure that we're taking our customers and our original vision in mind with everything that we do.
Yeah. That speaking of code of ethics, that was when I remember opening the first book. I think I got ISOM was the first one, and seeing that actually printed in the book, and I was like, this is awesome. Just that you're just openly like, this is the stand we're taking. This is how we're, I thought it was great. Loved it.
Yeah, that's I wanted a standard that people could hold us to, right? You will know the company is compromised if for some reason the ethics aren't there anymore that we wanted to stand for. And I wanted to set that tone. It keeps myself in check. It keeps all the writers in check. It keeps everybody with this business in check, and it gives that standard to the audience of what to expect, what this company stands for. And they can make a decision on whether or not that this is something that they want to get into. And we're very transparent about who we are.
Yeah. I've when I get people come into the store and they're maybe they've never been into comics before, they don't know where to start or whatever. They're like, where do I start? And I'm like, honestly, at this point, just literally grab any comic on this rack and start reading it. Because if you try to go back to figure out the whole story, it's literally impossible. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
It's been
we need a dry erase board that goes across the whole room, and it'd be almost impossible.
Yeah. That's the I remember when like Marvel movies were actually good and, you know, starting out and big, and people, when they'd complain about like, oh, the movie doesn't really follow the comics. I'm like, the comics don't even follow the comics. Like, they
Not
don't,
anymore, unfortunately.
you know, they're all
you're
over
right.
the place.
You're not
so,
wrong. You're not wrong about that at all.
yeah. So I just appreciate that. And, you know, people come in and they look at a Rippaverse book, and I'm like, you can start with this one. This is a good place to jump in. So
yeah, appreciate that. Much love. Thank you.